All right now, I'm on Judge Mathis, you know what I'm saying? Dr. Mathis, you know what I'm saying? I want to say Dr. Matthews, but I bet not. I'll get refused. You know what I'm saying? And don't put refuse on me. Refuse is shit. You know what I'm saying? When they shit on you, they refuse you or they put refuse on your face. You know what I'm saying? Because if you ain't got no money, you shame. You know what I'm saying? Come on now. Let's listen to the story.
Plaintiff Juwan Freeman says after he started dating the defendant, he encouraged her
Now
to
listen to him.
her
Freeman
career.
is his name
But he
now.
claims the first
Freeman.
time one of her
Freeman.
concerts, she spent the night at a friend's house and ignored his calls. He's suing her today for breach of contract.
Freeman is a friend, you know what I'm saying, to the lady, you know what I'm saying.
Rodriguez says
And her name Angel.
started performing again,
Angelica.
her relationship with
Or
Juwan
Angelique.
because he started neglecting her. And then he tried to propose to her.
Never.
With his
Angel lie. Might be Angel Lawn, you know what I'm saying.
All rise. This court is
like
now
LG.
The Honorable Judge
Elon or Eli on, you know what I'm saying.
You may now be seated.
Go right ahead.
How you doing, Judge? I met Angelica over Facebook dating. We started, starting to date, started to develop a relationship. Over time, I was doing nice things for her, buying her flowers, taking her on nice dates, took on a few trips.
See, excuse me, you know what I'm saying? Facebook dating, you know what I'm saying, is kind of dangerous on kinsmen, you know what I'm saying? Because on Facebook dating, you rated by, you know what I'm saying, the people you know and in your family, you know what I'm saying, family and friends. Facebook know from, your birth certificates in the courthouse, you know what I'm saying, everybody you are affiliated with in your house and around you. Friends, family members, kin folks, mama's kin folks, daddy's kin folks, and all they friends and family members and all they sisters and brothers, aunts and uncles and cousins and all that. So when you dating on Facebook, you might be kin to somebody, you know what I'm saying? Could even be dating your sister, you know what I'm saying? Even your mama, you know what I'm saying? You not careful, you know what I'm saying? You don't know who your daddy now is, and that's Adam, man. Daddy, that nigga Adam, you know what I'm saying? But go ahead.
Trips. As we continue to, I encourage her to, kind of pursue her music career. So she started to sing, started to do little events. So the first event I couldn't make it to, I called.
Now catch this. This the first event he couldn't make it to. Now I ain't gonna tell you his job yet. I'm gonna let you hear that. I don't want to tell the story. Go ahead.
Angelica, and she said she was home, but then she wasn't home. So I went to her house and I'm just like, hey, you say you home, where you at? So she's like, I'm at home. I was like, well, come to the door then. She was like, well, what are you doing? I was like, I'm at your house. I'm going to take you to breakfast. This is the first event I couldn't make. Where you at? She was like, oh, well, I'm not home.
Over Drake's? Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was like, oh, she was like, I'm not home. I had to go and take my daughter to get her hair done. I'm like, well, when did that happen? Because I've been at your house waiting for you because, I was trying to surprise you. So after a few minutes, now, I was calling her phone. She wasn't answering my calls. And because we, wasn't nearly close as we wanted to be, as far as like...
You know what? They didn't know each other. You know what I'm saying? They was just on the phone with each other. They didn't know each other. She was in school for dancing, you know what I'm saying? Her career, and singing and stuff. And he was working, you know what I'm saying? He had probably got off work early. He didn't say he got off work early, but he did say he was there waiting on her, you know what I'm saying? And they had been dating a while, but they really didn't know each other. They didn't know this person from that person. He didn't know what she looked like, sound to me.
living, we used to FaceTime all the time. So she didn't answer my call.
Okay, they
So I'm like, why
FaceTime,
is she not
so
answering my
he know
call?
what she look like.
So I
He's
pulled a
supposed to
little,
know what she look like.
little something out of the trick books. So I called her from a separate phone, and I called her business line. Little to behold, Angelica answered the phone. Hello? And I'm like, hey, where you at? And she was like, oh, I'm on my way to, get my daughter's hair.
She started like that?
See, she was stuttering because he caught her on a work phone, you know what I'm saying, her other cell phone, you know what I'm saying. Everybody usually have two cell phones if they dating, you know what I'm saying, and they working. They usually have a work phone, either they at the office with a work phone or they got a cell phone for their work job, you know what I'm saying, and a regular phone for them, you know. So he didn't know if she was at work or at home, you know what I'm saying. But she said she was at home, so he at her house because he don't know her, she don't know him. They just FaceTimed all the time. So that looked like the first date to me he was supposed to make and didn't make. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I'm like, okay. She was like, what are you doing? And I'm like, why did you even question me? Like, this is not even a problem. Like, we've been kicking it hard for like the last few months. Come to find out, she finally admitted that she spent the night at a friend's house. And she was like, oh, I slept on the couch.
Straight?
Now, you know, she said she spent the night at a friend's house and she slept on the couch. Could have been a woman, could have been a man. He didn't know that. She didn't want to tell him that and didn't have to tell him that they had never met before. You know what I'm saying to me?
He said, see, I've been right all along.
Probably the level boy.
What city? What city you all in?
Oh, in Houston.
All right, go ahead.
Louis Behold, like, she wound up, admitting that she stayed at someone's house overnight. And it was the first time I wasn't able to, go to one of her events. And this happened. So we continued. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to, maybe it's just not her, I'm not going to discredit her character. Maybe she did. Maybe she was just too tired because she complained that it was a long drive home. But I allowed her. I said, you know what? Maybe we can still make it through this. Well, everything continued just fine until I, started saying I only got something on it. And what that meant was, I wasn't fronting the whole bill anymore. When it was time for rent due, I said,
yeah, I got something on it. That's a simple term. Is, you know what I'm saying? I got something on the rent. You know what I'm saying? I got something on the rent, Judge. You know what I'm saying? Dr. Wayman Matthews. But Mathis, you know what I'm saying? I'm just bullshitting. But like you do too. So I'm just joking, trying to get a laugh out of God, you know what I'm saying? Looking at him in his face and my mirror, you know what I'm saying? My miracle is when I put a cell phone on me and record, goddamn, I see God, yeah. But yeah. But yeah, this is a difficult situation, Judge. He got a little bit on the rent, you know what I'm saying? I got a little bit on it. You know what I'm saying? I got a little bit on it. You know what I'm saying? So that's the way I would set that up too. I got a little bit on it, you know what I'm saying? Or I wouldn't even set that up. I'd have just gave her some while I'm staying, you know what I'm saying? So one day I might not have to come back or she might put me out in that. Really don't owe nothing. I wouldn't have just been putting it on it and, not saying a little something, but we cool. Shit, I've been in that situation
Tell
too.
me what something on it mean?
something on it. She was like, well, what are you doing? And I'm like, why is you even questioning me? Like, this is not even a problem. Like, we've been kicking it hard for like the last few months. And come to find out, she finally admitted that she spent the night at a friend's house. And she was like, oh, I slept on the couch.
Straight? He said, see, I've been right all along.
Plaintiff Juwan Freeman is suing his ex-girlfriend, who claims after Juwan started neglecting her, he tried to propose to her with his ex-girlfriend's ring.
From you, man, you done sold me now.
How you doing, Judge?
But I said, you got what you got on it.
Yeah. I hear you, Judge. What you got on it? Yeah. And then he gonna propose with, you know what I'm saying, his ex-wife's, ex-girlfriend's ring, ex-fiance's ring. You know what I'm saying? But this later now, after a relationship for a little while, you know what I'm saying? So still I'm thinking about it, Judge, you know what I'm saying? I'm thinking about it. Who owe who? You know what I'm saying? I don't think nobody really owe nobody. Because if he really loved her and she really loved him, you know what I'm saying? They see it that way. You know what I'm saying? Because you never know who was in love and who wasn't. Who was in love with their fiance or who was in love with their friend. We don't know.
Put something on it. You got something on it. And that means, go ahead.
He was talking to me.
I invented that phrase, probably.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
He
about.
started off right, but he missed a lot up to that point, leading where I was not home. I was not home. But leading up to that point, there's a reason. So
Yeah.
he was telling the truth. We did meet on Facebook dating. We conversated a couple of days. When I found out that he was a licensed masseuse, I asked him to come over and give me a massage. He did that.
The judge, that is right there. He was a licensed misogynist. You know what I'm saying? Meaning he massaged many women. You know what I'm saying? That was his job, and he get paid for that. You know, now she asking for $2,300. 2,300 and 3,030. I mean, she asked for $2,300, $350. Sorry about that. Now, the massage she paid for homeboy now, him being a misogynist, licensed as a misogynist. Now, you know what I'm saying? Licensed misogynist. Now, I don't know about her dancing. He encouraged her while they was just talking to, you know, do something with dancing, because he seen her dance. He know how she danced, because she danced on top of him. So, Judge, me and you killing each other. So, I'm not going to tell nobody, though. I know where from.
I paid for his services. After that, we continued our phone conversation. We decided to talk about dating and possibly get in a relationship. I asked Mr. Freeman to not let us have sex in the beginning because I didn't want it to complicate things versus getting...
Daddy. She said she didn't want sex now. She just wanted a massage. And she paid him for his services for the massage. They did not have sex. So, there it is. The misogynist out of job now. Because he got a lady. He can't massage no other woman because they may want that. He would be out of order if he in love with her. And he said he told her he loved her.
To know each other. So, of course, that didn't happen. 3 days after we had sex, he told me he loved me. Okay? I told him that I wasn't
But he got a job
I wanted
now.
to be honest with Mr. Freeman. So down the line, we started going out. Mr. Freeman had full access to my house, full access to me.
Really? How did that go when he had the key? And
Everything went well. After 30 days passed, I started asking him to start contributing to the household.
Now he ain't been to work
that
now.
became an issue. Oh, well, I just stay at home.
Yeah,
that's
because
fine.
he can't go massage nobody without
we
that
were in
other
love
stuff.
at that point, when all of that was going on.
how long?
Maybe about 30 days within the relationship. About 4 weeks later, I did tell him that I loved him. And
3 days.
everything...
It was too early.
Okay, now y'all married. Now they married,
And I
Judge.
understand. I can't judge him on how he felt, but I knew that...
Somebody can't go to their
Not
job. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't be
Go ahead.
dancing and singing in front of nobody turning on me. And you know what I'm
He did tell
saying?
me long down the line that I should get back on stage. So I did that. It wasn't until I was singing about 4 months, maybe 3-4 months, he started acting funny with me, started neglecting me at shows. He would come, pull up like he wasn't there.
Because
It
he's
was
jealous
like,
of the
"You
other
gotta be here, be
dudes. He's
here,"
not
you know, to
massaging nobody.
support
And
me
if
and all
he
of that.
is,
So
his
I started getting
misogynist.
fed up because I was getting neglected from my
30
boyfriend
days
who
now.
I loved. And when he started neglecting me, I had a show in Galveston, did not feel like driving all the way home, and I did spend a night at a friend's house. But by that time, I was practically, you know, our
And didn't
relationship
have
was really
sex with
rocky
nobody,
because I'm
so
like,
she just
at that
went
point,
to
I'm
the
like, I'm
club dance.
trying with you, and I'm trying to pour my heart out and see what's going on with you, and I'm telling him what he's doing, but he wasn't in agreement.
Tell me some examples of what you're referring to.
So, like when he would come to the show, it was always ignoring me, just standing around, not talking to anybody, and people knew him, knew who he was. If you were with me, people knew who you.
Yeah, because, you know what I'm saying, he ignored you because he really didn't know what man in there you spent the night with when y'all started. Now, remember, we ain't stayed with each other 30 days. Now, I was going to put some on the rent, but I ain't stayed but 30 days. Now, I missed the first show. Remember? And you didn't show. So somewhere down the line, I ain't show with the money. And this is what we here for. So, you know what I'm saying? I know homeboy don't feel like he owe nothing. Because, you know, he should owe that. He should feel like he owes something if he stayed there a few months, because I don't know that. I only know about 30 days. But this God, this how I rule the stars, you know what I'm saying? And make the Big Dipper, the Little Dipper, and all the other planets, dragons and stuff in the sky, you know what I'm saying? By sitting here listening to plaintiffs and defendants. And I'm a witness, this God, Judge Mathis.
You were.
Then backstage, he was a loner. What?
Yeah, so like I had asked him to watch my purse while I was on stage.
Right.
He's outside on the phone. Purse just sitting there by the bar, unattended. You know, it was stuff like that. But in the
Yeah, I understand that. But, and she getting fed up too, because whoever, you know, her friend was, could be somebody she was dealing with, because money is money. You know what I'm saying? And she got to earn her money, and she got to, you know, sing or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And this woman is a singer, got jewelry and all that stuff, lipstick, all that good stuff, money in her purse, and he hanging out, you know what I'm saying, at the show. You know what I'm saying? That it's got to be the first show. No, it's the 30th show, because 30 days, but third or fourth show, I guess. I don't know, a few months.
beginning, he was there, sitting there, with, you know, by my purse, had no issues recording my performances, and then he started neglecting me, like I didn't exist. So,
Anything to say about that?
Judge, I came to, so the first 3 shows I came to, the 4th show was the one that she had in Galveston, and that I didn't make it to. And that's when things like the first...
Saying when you did come, you weren't supportive of her.
Right.
That's what I'm asking you.
I was
you want to respond to.
Judge, I was very supportive.
Okay, now, he probably was not supportive because, you know, he didn't jump up and, hey, because he laying with her every night. Now he's jealous now because the relationship was rocky from the start. You know what I'm saying? So it might not even, she said she didn't want to have sex, but they did. So, you know, that didn't change. She still didn't want to have sex. She wasn't sure if she wanted him. This was a Facebook trial, like a trial, where it say $1, and then we'll bill you every month at this price. But that $1 is just the bait. You know what I'm saying? Clickbait. You know what I'm saying? It might be $5 or $35, usually $25 a month.
I was there. I was standing there. I just wasn't into, you know, mingling
Why you
with...
didn't carry that purse?
Judge, I could see that person. She had other people
He
there
was
as well.
outside.
I wasn't the only person that she invited.
Purse.
and before he would,
Then you had some heels you needed.
listen, before
somebody
he
to
would
wear.
cater, yes, sir.
Them heels.
He did
Put
all
them
of that.
heels on.
He
Carry
did
that
all of that. He catered.
Carried the person through the hill.
100%. Yes, sir. It's the small things. I used to tell him all the time. I don't ask for nothing big. Everything I
That
ask for
sounds like
is
some
small.
freaky things there, though. I'm gonna be honest.
I had asked him to watch my purse while I was on stage.
Right.
He's outside on the phone. Purse just sitting there by the bar, unattended. You know, it was
Yeah,
stuff.
like that. Somebody could have stole something, what she's saying. You know, somebody could have stole something. That's that time, though. But then all the rest of the times, you know what I'm saying, he probably wasn't even there. He stayed at home. Remember? He stayed at home. He wasn't a bouncer. He wasn't the one that cheered you on. He wasn't surprised about your dance moves. You know what I'm saying? He really wasn't the one, because now he telling you he don't want to pay that piece that he told you shouldn't have paid him, because that's the piece he didn't get. You know what I'm saying? So why would I be sitting up there all happy if I ain't touched it? Or if I touched it, you know what I'm saying, I don't know who I'm dealing with. You know what I'm saying? So y'all didn't know each other. That's my rule. Y'all really didn't know each other. He paid you for your service. I don't know if it's $3,000 worth, but it is if y'all loved each other.
Stuff like that. But in the beginning, he was there, sitting there, with, you know, by my purse, had no issues recording my performances, and then he started neglecting me like I didn't exist.
Plaintiff Juwan Freeman is suing his ex-girlfriend, who claims after Juwan started neglecting her, he tried to propose to her with his ex-girlfriend's ring.
That's the problem right
when
there,
you were
Judge.
there last time or two, you showed no support.
Right.
You just ignored it. You act like, you know, if your partner or your better half or other half is at a show at somewhere you're performing and you don't pay them any attention, that's insulting. Part of their performance is inspired by you, I hope.
That's the reason why I got on stage.
I hope.
He told me to.
Can I speak?
Yes.
At this particular event that she's talking about, she actually had two other male companions, well, not companions, associates that were also there.
By that time, our relationship was rocky. He was neglectful. He neglected me.
I told
now
you,
wanna
Judge.
move up.
Coming, man.
No, sir, I did
He
not.
came to the show on
Homeboy paid
He
for
came
the
to the show
massage. I mean,
unexpectedly
she
because
paid for the
by that time,
massage,
our
and
relationship was
homeboy
very
paid his
rocky.
part of the massage. Y'all both paid for each other's massage.
Specifically what the date
Break it in
time
half,
was,
dog. Break it
or
in
the
half,
venue,
Judge.
or the event.
Half in it, Judge.
It's his fault. The reason why
The
I did
rent,
not
half
answer
in
my
the
phone.
rent
It's his
and the
fault.
bills.
The reason why I did not come home that night.
Half in the
from Galveston.
$2,350.
So I don't understand why
Half
he's
in
acting
50
like
50.
he's not the cause of me not coming home.
Yeah,
Our
that could be
relationship was
disheartening,
done.
sir. If she loves you and you're her man, this is your woman, that's very disheartening.
Right.
And she
And I
needs
needed
that
his
support. She
Yeah.
needs to be able
Yeah,
to
but if she
feel
ain't coming
that
home after
she's
the show,
succeeding.
Yeah.
And if nobody else can tell her she's succeeding, you should, even if it's a lie. You may not think she can sing at all, but you better not tell her that.
and then
At one
have
point,
two
he was my number
boyfriends
one
in
fan,
there
but
at the
then
same
he started
time.
tripping, and our relationship was
Yeah.
going downhill. And
That's
I did
what I'm
everything in my power to try to make the relationship work. I belittled myself to try to say, okay, well, what is it that I'm doing when I'm giving you full access of me in my life?
Yeah.
And I felt
But he
like
gave
I-
you full
I
access
did
of
way
him
too
to
much
massage
in
you
the
every day.
beginning, even
For
trying
that.
to make him
You know what I'm
feel
saying? You paid for the
appreciated and
massage.
everything. I was
He
doing a
paid
lot,
for
to the point where my family
the
is like, what is
humiliation
wrong
or
with you?
whatever.
But I was
Because
in love with Mr. Freeman.
you should
I was willing
pay
to
him
marry Mr.
damages
Freeman.
too.
But he ended up giving me a ring for
Because
from
you
his
had two dudes
ex-girlfriend.
at the club.
Right after we got my ring finger sized in Florida. Then he pops up with a ring pulled out of his backpack trying to put it on my finger. No respect.
How you
No,
ask for someone else, for someone else.
for somewhere else, it
How
stopped
do you
right here
know?
at my knuckle.
Was that ring from another woman?
No, it wasn't.
It was from a previous
It was a brand new
relationship he
ring.
was with
It was a
2
brand new
years ago.
ring, Your Honor.
Yes,
it was a brand new
Oh.
ring, and it did not stop at her knuckle.
I don't believe you
That you pulled out of a backpack. It was a brand new ring, no receipt, no nothing, no box. You just put it out your
Don't give the
backpack. That's a
woman the
great
receipt.
proposal.
Who gives the receipt?
But is that a great proposal just to pull a ring splat out of a backpack?
I wasn't proposing.
So what you put the ring on my finger for? And then it was too small.
It wasn't too small. It was too small.
Now you're really talking crazy.
Yeah,
You put an
perfect.
engagement ring on
Right.
her finger and you weren't proposing.
It was set up to be like a promise ring. And that's what, because we had already talked about, you know, getting together, and she described what type of rings you want. And she said the ring was beautiful.
It was, but it was too small and it wasn't mine. I had to tell him, like, the ring is beautiful, but, like, it wasn't for me, and it wasn't, you didn't buy it for me. It was too small. And we just sized my ring prior in
He
Florida.
just got the size wrong, or the jeweler may have gotten it wrong. I don't believe he's that low. I just don't. I don't know, though. You won't support your woman when she's there and trying to come up, and she wants to impress you as well. When my wife Linda comes sit in the audience, I need to feel that positive vibe from her, because she means something to me.
Right.
If she didn't mean anything to me, I wouldn't care. You can come and look crazy at me. You don't have to give me a positive vibe. Nothing. All right, you my wife, fine, whatever. I don't care. Let me do my thing. No, you're my wife. I want to impress you. And I want you to show me support. And I know that to be the case with most people, because I believe her. At least on one of those occasions, you did that. And that's a lack of respect and dignity to be at your woman's show. You haven't been to a whole lot of them, because she hasn't had a whole lot of them.
Yeah, I had a whole lot
outside
of them.
on the phone doing everything but showing her support. So she looked
Yeah,
at the
but
audience. I look at the audience
the
now
judge, you
sometimes
still
just
got to
for
think
friendly
about
faces.
the two
I don't
men
know,
in
though.
this
You won't
in the
support
audience.
your woman when she's there and trying to
The two
come
men in the
up,
audience,
and this
Judge.
is-
Think about
she
that in the
wants to
chamber
impress
now.
you as well. When my wife Linda comes sit in the audience, I need to feel that
Yeah,
positive
if
vibes
my
from
wife
her.
was there, I feel
But she
pretty good
means
too. But
something
if
to
your
me.
wife ain't thinking about you and
Plaintiff
she's
Juwan
thinking about
Freeman is
somebody
suing
else,
his
and that ain't your
ex-girlfriend,
wife,
who claims after
Then
Juwan started neglecting
you're not
her,
gonna think
he
like
tried to
that.
propose to her with his ex-girlfriend's ring.
Yeah, if it ain't your
Right.
wife,
$2,377. What breach and legal fees?
I have some evidence. We had created a promissory note.
About what though? Tell me about the loans or whatever
Well-
the fees result from.
So, again, Miss Rodriguez was going through her business, and her business, you know, had a tough time. So her account got hacked, and instead of, you know, allowing her to go and get like a payday loan, which had like 1,400% interest, I was like, you know, I have the cash available. You know, you can just borrow from me and just pay me back, you know, no interest, just pay me my money back. And she agreed. And I said, you know, we can have a promissory note, and, you know, we'll write it up, and then you can just pay me. I'll give you some time to pay. Gave her 6 months to pay. I said, you'll pay me back January 1st. She was like, all right. And she signed it.
When did you guys break up?
Officially broke up in September.
Okay. And when was the promissory note signed?
The promissory note was signed in
July.
July 21 signed. So you all were together and everything was fine.
We were breaking up. It's the only reason why he pulled out the promissory note. And he told me he wasn't leaving my house until I signed the promissory note that he
you tell her
wrote
that?
out at my table.
Did you tell her that?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
He was like, oh, well, we need to write out this promissory note because you owe me money. And so I signed it so he can leave.
both
borrow
of
any
them,
of it?
both
Is
of
that
them,
what you're
Judge.
saying? No.
Both
No,
of
it
them,
was
both of
given.
them.
We were in a
He was
relationship
out
and
work.
gave that money to me. He didn't start that, pay me back stuff until I told him I was done, because I wasn't trying to go through
Any
the
evidence
odds and
that you
ends with
asked
Mr.
for the
Freeman.
money?
Because basically she was working for him, Judge. She was working for him alone then. You know what I'm saying? Because his job was a misogynist. You know what I'm saying? And the only person he was supposed to be massaging is that girlfriend that he bought the ring for. You know what I'm saying? Or her. You know what I'm saying? He was only supposed to be massaging for her. So him helping her out, you know what I'm saying, you know, was losing money. It was losing money. It wasn't making no money because she said she was done. No more sex, no more massages. So she don't owe no more to him, Judge, and he ain't working for her no more. So he don't owe her nothing. That's both of them, and it's kind of embarrassing to be in the club when you know you ain't the only man that wants your woman. You know what I'm saying? That's just it. I think both of them lost money on that one.
Before July.
No.
That's what I'm asking him.
I don't have any written evidence.
Do you have any evidence at all where she says, I'm going to repay you?
Other than the promissory
Yes.
note, I don't have any evidence.
He don't. And can I add something,
Because
Judge?
you have admitted it was under duress.
Right. Can I
Go
add
ahead.
something? I do have evidence of us having a conversation in January. In December 3rd of 2021, I asked Mr. Freeman would he like to go to a concert. We went to a 90s concert together, me thinking that we can rekindle whatever it was that we had. Maybe let's just see. This is our last straw. Let's
Y'all
see
need
what
to
may happen.
get back together
Went to
till
the
y'all
concert.
pay each other
Mr.
each
Freeman
other's
walked in,
money
we
back
holding hands
in
like
whatever
everything
way
is
y'all
good,
pay
and
it
then
to
he
each
falls
other. Cause
asleep
both of y'all
in
ain't
the concert, and I
the
have video of
job
that.
for both of y'all
And
is
then
messed up
after
now.
that, we didn't speak to each other anymore until January, which I have here. The conversations of he missed me, he's looking at videos, reminiscing of relationships, us going back and yes, and I'm telling him I miss him as well.
I wouldn't
just
want
going
a
back and forth,
dancer now.
reminiscing.
That's
I
you
invited
get
him
a
to my
dancer,
house.
you gotta deal
We
with
had
the
a
problem.
conversation. We were intimate, and then 2 days later, I was served papers. Not one time did Mr.
Wow,
Freeman.
serve papers about the
Yes, sir.
lawsuit today.
Yes, sir. Not one time did Mr. Freeman come to me and say, hey, let's talk about this money. Let's talk about anything. You just go like you've been begging for the money all this time, and you just go to the courts and file right after you just left my house.
Sir, is that true?
Sir, that's not completely true.
That is,
I
have
contacted Ms. Rodriguez prior to this promissory note, and she is the one who stated that she will pay me back by January 1st. She said, I'm not going to get, I asked for the money on a number of different times. She said, well, I'm not going to give you I said, I'll take payments because I know you don't have the whole $2,000.
now both of them
I'm
need
not
to
gonna
pay
give you
each
no-
other.
She said,
I'm
not
gonna take
give you
payment.
any
We're gonna
money
go
in
out and
payments.
make
I'm
them
gonna give you the whole
pay.
thing just like you gave it to
That's
me.
all.
I said, well, you never have. She said,
Then
I'm gonna
if
pay
she
you
don't
when I get
want
my
to, then
income
go
tax.
on because you don't want to be arguing with her over who she wants.
So
this and
I'm
that.
like, okay, well, now you already
They
know.
stuck with each
After
other,
you went to
Judge.
the
They
concert,
stuck with
you
each
got
other because I
interviewed.
don't think the
This
other two
before
all
want
this-
either.
What you're referring to
Not that she
went
bad or
away
anything,
when
but
you went to
him,
the concert.
he
and 2
trying
days
not to
later
want
became
her,
intimate
and
with
she
her, or-
trying not to
don't
want
know,
him.
sir.
We only had one conversation, which is when I told him the first time that I was done. That's when all of this come out. Oh, you owe me money. You owe this. Now, if we
Yeah.
owing money, then I need the money back that I spent on Mr. Freeman for Father's Day, the trip to
See,
Colorado
that's
that
the
I took
problem
him
I
on.
have.
So it's
Back
like,
in the day,
since
you
we're
know,
talking
somebody
about
paid
giving somebody
something, gave
cash.
me something.
Thousands of dollars.
They don't
at
think
one
about all the
time.
money I
get it.
gave
A lot
them.
different.
I get it, but he wasn't talking that until I said that I was done.
Plaintiff Juwan Freeman is suing his ex-girlfriend, who claims after Juwan
Both of
started
them paid
neglecting
each
her,
other
he
in
tried to
love
propose to
and
her
money and
with his
everything else.
ex-girlfriend's
Now they
ring.
just broke up
When
and
is the first time once
the
again
work
you
bad
heard
for
you
everybody now.
mention you owed money? What month and year?
That was the day that I told, that was in July, when I told him that I was done.
First time.
First time, and that's
That
when
the
he
first
made the
time? No, sir.
promissory note.
When had you mentioned it earlier?
The
prior
first
to that?
time it actually, when we were still actually in a good relationship, she received some money from the IRS and she opened up a Navy Federal account with the check that she got. She's like, oh, here's your money right here. I can just give it to you right now. And I was like, okay, well, you know, whenever you're ready, just
When was
transfer.
that?
This was,
Month, season,
no.
year?
This was a month. This was within a month after I loaned her the money. So she could have easily paid me back right away. And she chose not to. And I don't know where the money
When's the
went.
next time you asked them?
The next time I asked was maybe about 3 months later when I was actually asking about the payments. I was like, well, you can just pay me in payments. She was like, well, I'm not going to pay you in payments. I'm going to give it to you when in full like you gave it to me. I'm like, you're never going to have it because you've been scratching and scrambling for money. And even when we went to Colorado,
They
we
went to
went
Colorado
to
together,
she
no
couldn't pay for
money
her car.
now.
I wound up having to pay for that. And she was like,
Yeah,
well, I'll pay
because
you back.
even if she was a
Never seen that
dancer,
money.
she
She
can't
said
pay for the
expect to
trip
get it
and
back
everything
from
else
you
and then
working
come on and pay the
full-time.
rent.
She was working full-time doing her last business. And even when we came to this agreement, when I initially let her borrow the money, she said, I'm going to pay. She said, I make about $200 per client. I'm going to pay you $100 out of that money every time I do, you know, a set of brides. And I was like, okay, well, that sounds reasonable. You'll be able to pay me back in no time. But then she continued to get in financial struggles. At one time, she couldn't make her rent at her business. And she was about to lose the whole business. I was like, you know what? This right here,
That's why they need to stay together. She gonna lose the business being a girlfriend or somebody. When everybody find out you got a
I
man,
don't expect that back. I paid her full rent before. I've also gave her half of her rent before.
He never paid anything in full.
Problem you have, sir, even if all you say is true, I can't validate an illegal act. You committed 3 crimes
damn,
by your
dude.
own admission. Unlawful detainment, wouldn't let her go.
Mm-hmm.
Duress, forcing her to sign something, otherwise you're not leaving.
Yeah.
And that's also considered extortion.
Yeah.
When you won't do something until another person does something, that's extortion. Not necessarily doesn't have to be taking from each other, just making somebody do something in fear of harm. However that harm might come. Financial harm, I'm not leaving your house harm, whatever the case may be. And you did that. So I can't enforce an illegal act. So I'm going to have to dismiss it on the terms that the process of getting the promissory note was illegal. And everything that follows that is illegal. And so therefore your claim is dismissed. Never detain a person from leaving.
Because to tell you the truth, Judge, you are exactly right. Because to tell you the truth, they both messed up each other's business. They both messed up each other's business by being in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? He can't do business in the same town she could do business in. He can't have the same friends she have friends with. And they both, you know what I'm saying? He can't go out there and get a girlfriend or other clients to massage, even though he licensed, unless she go to the job with him and watch him do it without sex. You know what I'm saying? He out of business and she out of business because she can't work. Because every man out there know who her man is. Because they together. You know what I'm saying?
Do what you did ultimately, and that is bring them to court. When you said, I'm not leaving until you sign that, you committed 3 crimes. All right, let's get to the rent. This is your counterclaim, ma'am.
So we have a business called Unbreakable. We started the business together.
Right.
The agreement was to break everything in half.
You have evidence of that?
The only thing I had
Unbreakable.
was how much the rent was that I'm asking from
Do
him.
you have evidence that he agreed to pay? Anything?
No, I don't have my LLC.
All right, do you agree you agreed?
Well, I don't agree with the fact that
How much you agree you owe her?
Do you know-
I don't agree with. I don't.
Well,
owe her
then,
anything.
that's all I'm asking.
So we
sir.
didn't
Have a
have
good
a-
day. That's my
Okay.
judgment. You don't have evidence. He denies. Your claim is dismissed for engaging in a criminal act to extort her.
And vice versa, you know the same thing to her. But everybody good. Keep living, man. Relationships. Love is the key.